Call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody to the work session. I'd like the Secretary Treasurer to start with the roll call, please.
President Scott Horowitz.
I'm here.
Secretary Treasurer Ed Warner Jr., present. Trustee Richard T. Marin.
Here.
Trustee Joseph McLaughlin.
Here.
And Trustee Matt Parsons.
Present.
We have a full board present.
Thank you. All right, let's jump right into our work session agenda. We've got a bit of a busy day. First Coastal is not here for the application that I have on board. Tell you what, let's go over to you, Edward, and give
Okay.
him the opportunity to get here.
All right, we have an application for 35 Common Point Drive, Hampton Bays. It's an application for Common Point Drive LLC. Dr. Murdo, we've been back and forth with the applicant, our environmental analyst, and I believe we have finally come up with all the necessary components to move it forward. The project is for a proposed 20 by 6 floating easy dock, a 4-foot by 100-foot walkway with plastic or composite aluminum legs with 5-foot pads. All materials and specs conform to our regulations, and the dock is sided in 30 inches of water. So after going through all of this, I know James isn't here right now, but we've gone through everything and finally got an application that we can move forward, so I recommend we move it forward.
Yeah, we should move it forward.
Okay?
All right, so advance that.
That's that one.
Does it have stamp plans?
That I don't know. I don't see stamp plans. No, I don't
Okay.
see them here.
So you can advance pending.
Let's advance pending that we get stamp
Stamp plans.
plans for the next meeting.
Okay.
The next application we have is for Bay Avenue East, Hampton Bays. It's for the town of Southampton Highway Department. McLean Associates is the consultant. I
He's
believe
here.
They're here. Good morning. It's at the end of a badly eroded waterway history. I have a good history with that as far as living in the area, so I'm very familiar with the projects that have gone on in the past. So if you want to give us the narrative of the most current one.
Sure. So there's an existing stone revetment. It's not quite to the standard that we would like for it to be, so we're looking to deconstruct it, reconstruct it using a lot of the existing stones and supplement that with some additional stones to create a 2-layer stone revetment that will be resilient to wave action. The area not only sees erosion from the wave action, but a lot of it's from the upland stormwater, which the town, I think, has placed some riprap, but it still erodes the end of the road quite a bit. So we're looking to create a swale constructed of stone perpendicular to the direction of flow to intercept some of the runoff, with another overflow channel that would discharge the stormwater runoff onto the revetment. In addition to that, there'll be a beach access staircase and a small boardwalk that will span the little stone channel that's going to be perpendicular to the roadway. The town also had the desire to have a little beach area for people to hang out at the top of the revetment, so we're proposing to place some beach-compatible sand with a perimeter of beach grass to kind of hope to contain that within that area so the wind doesn't just blow, back onto the beach. I think that's the bulk of it. Depending on the town's funding for the project, though, there is a second component to the project that rather than basically allowing, like just protecting the area from erosion, we would actually treat the water in addition to that, so there'd be a stormwater treatment system with an outfall pipe.
Oh, that would be wonderful, because I know the road is pitched and it comes for probably half a mile or more where other roads intersected, so there's a large volume of water that does access the bay here. So the second stage would really be helpful as far as mitigating runoff and, you know, ensuring good water quality in Shinnecock Bay.
So it's something that we're attempting to move forward with, but the town highway department needs supplemental funding for that, which they're exploring options right now to get that. It seems like that's positive.
Yeah, so
at the
that
moment,
would be out
so-
of our jurisdiction. The first part would be in our jurisdiction, so, but we look favorable on the second part also.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
And I just want to accommodate the highway in thinking about the local public and access to the beach, because when I was first a trustee 17, 18 years ago, there was a wood walkway there, and the
Okay.
trustees maintained it for many years, but we had a couple of severe storms, and it got broken up and washed away, and the local people at the community always asked to have it put back. So I applaud them for taking the initiative to provide access for the public and to the beaches, so.
Yeah, it'll be a nice improvement.
So as far as this initial application that you have before us, I think I'm in favor. I don't know what the rest of the board is.
Enhance
but-
it, and obviously waive the fees.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
it's good for the public. Next application is for,
Sorry, did that one have stamp plans?
do we have stamp plans from?
You can get
I'm
them,
not, yeah, we can. I
Yeah.
don't recall if we sent them.
All right.
We'll
So-
forward up with some.
yeah,
samples.
advance
Okay.
pending, yeah,
Sometimes we wait.
Thanks.
right till your final analysis and then
Yeah,
the stamp on them, yeah.
yeah, we can send them over there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next application is 124 Sprinkle Road, Hampton Bays, Land Use Ecological Services is the consultant. I don't see them here. I'd like to put this on, but without the consultant being here to explain it to the rest of the board, I think we should hold till they can be available.
Hold
Okay?
it, hold it.
I'm gonna hold it.
Trustee
This
Mayor.
is dredging the
All
road
right,
stuff.
Sunset Point Enterprises LLC, Point Mecox Lane in Bridgehampton, First Coastal.
Not here.
All right. This is that project, so we really need somebody, this is a dredge project, so I think somebody should really hold.
Right, we'll hold it. I'm holding one for First Coastal
Yep.
too. He sometimes, he'll show up a little further on in the meeting.
The next is Caroline Hirsch, Flying Point Road.
Hello there, sir.
Hello, how are you? What's that? Yeah. As you are aware, this actually.
Kevin, got my pen back?
Yeah.
Kevin Springer.
Springer, Dynamic Legal Services, 104C. This was as a major renovation with, and I believe First Coastal was actually on it in the first place. That has all been completed, but I believe there was a miscommunication with the owner and the new builder, who assumed that because the thing was done, they could just start redoing the walkway to the beach. So the walkway was done in the same spot, a little bit different layout just because of the elevation of the dunes.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, it's a straightforward walkway right to the beach. Really not a whole lot going on. There are stamp plans in there.
How far does the walkway go down onto the beach, and does it interfere with any beach driving or public access?
No, this is upland actually of the dune.
Okay,
Kind of rails.
Yeah.
Rails are only on the steeper levels. The flat levels have nothing.
Remember some better pictures, right?
it was done with compliant lumber?
Yes, all
Yeah.
compliant lumber and,
Like number one pine or something, like clear pine.
yeah, they spent some money.
I was like, clear pine? here's yeah, I don't see. You just have better pictures. Put it down
That's
on
just
the
a
computer.
June area.
Not here, we can't put anything up.
No. Let me see.
Yeah, there's no pictures in this one.
So it was constructed in kind and in place of the original one, which was permitted.
Yes.
Or slightly, is it exact?
It's just, it's not exact as to the steppings because of all the amount of sand that was brought in.
Here's, you elevated the dune. You made it bigger.
Is it on a survey? You showing it on a survey here?
Yeah, it's on a survey, but I don't see a stamped survey. Yeah, see, it doesn't even go to the dune. Well, like behind there. That is the jump. that they-
Crest of the dune.
Yeah.
So what's the dimension?
The patio? We don't have any dimensions on it unless you want to figure it out.
What do you need?
Dimension, it says on the wall, it says a patio.
The patio is the existing patio for the structure all the way up at the house.
No.
No. It's actually
But
on
the-
the crest of the dune.
Yeah,
We don't, there's no patio.
So
this,
maybe we should hold this then.
let it match up. 'Cause it's,
Yeah, these. I mean, I don't. When I was going over it, I don't remember seeing yeah on there.
so they should take that off of there if it's not there.
Yeah, this is the original one. This is what First Coastal, 2019, I believe it was.
So let's
So
get
it's 5 years
updated,
old.
yeah, we need
Updated.
updated stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so
And if the patio's not there, just show what's on there, and
Yeah.
then it'll be a lot easier for us to render this.
well, is it on the plan though? I mean, it should be laid out on the plan itself. Do you have the plan?
These are the only plans in the folder for this application.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have them. I can drop them off later. I've already
Yeah.
dropped them off
Right,
once, so.
James isn't here, so.
No, that's okay.
They
I
might not
understand.
have been brought to the meeting, or, so it's kind of difficult
Nope.
without him to talk about it.
Said I'll do a couple sets this afternoon.
Okay.
All right.
Mm,
That'd be
yeah,
great.
there's no patios.
Yeah,
let's
no,
just-
I didn't see it on there.
Right,
so,
so let's, we're
But-
permitting and using the proper stuff, that way there's no confusion.
Yeah.
Would you like more photos?
Yes.
yeah,
So I'll put that-
especially down towards in there.
Yep.
Because I saw the one that was like going from like the top looking down, and that was but that's when I noticed it was clear pine, and I'm like,
Yeah.
geez.
All right, yeah, I have all that. I'll just,
Yeah, the ones we have now just show the dune and.
They just show the Dune project.
Yeah, which
They
is,
don't. It doesn't show. the
yeah, that was all.
Next, let's, work session for the 18th. Can you get it by then, that stuff?
I can give it to you this afternoon.
Well,
I
that-
prefer it. We can just
Put it on
move
for
it
the
to the
work.
next one.
Well, I put it on the work session.
we're
for
gonna
the
go for the
18th.
work. We work it into it.
Exactly.
All right, what'd you say that was, the 18th?
18th,
Yeah.
we'll put it on for the work session, the 18th. Get the updated thing, get the pictures, and then we can
Yeah,
hopefully get this.
That
thing
way,
done.
we can, or Chip can sit with James and go over the plans, make sure that everything is on there.
Yeah,
that
then
we
we'll
need.
just okay it and stamp them.
Yeah,
There's the plans are stamped already.
okay,
We just don't have this stuff here. so
yeah,
Yeah, that's
No
okay.
problem.
I mean,
okay.
Put
All
it
right.
on, 18th.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Northampton Colony Yacht Club. Coastal.
Costello Marine.
Allen Marine.
How's everyone?
Okay, how are you?
So Jack Costello on behalf of Northampton.
Signing that would be great.
Okay, sure. It's a small dredge project. It's 1,000 yards, and it's being spread right on site, so that's all right there. I'm just here to answer any questions you guys could possibly have.
Okay.
That's, yeah. This is the, yeah, this is it right here. This is it right here. This is the one where we were kind of like dodging with the Army Corps, kind of.
We got that all straightened out, so,
Yeah.
you know, area yes in blue is the area of the dredge down to 5 feet,
Yeah,
and you can see the barometric contours in there. It's, you know, this, it's basically just a spot dredge.
Area.
yeah.
Yeah, and on the site plans, you'll see it's clearly marked, you know,
Yeah.
on the site plans.
Yep. And you're keeping it all right on site?
Yep.
Okay.
You know, right, it's like something on the
And that's
page.
gonna be planted after the fact, I think, was on it.
There might be areas of planting where there was any disturbance, but actually, this is actually going on a beach area,
Okay.
not the actual deposit of the oils, but any disturbance area
Right.
that's created by the dredge.
So when did you think you were gonna start this? Next
But
November?
this-
Because I wasn't gonna rush it to put it on, because when I spoke to the office, but I had enough room, so I said, let's get it out of the way now.
Yeah, all the,
Yeah,
but it'll
yeah.
be this calendar year.
This calendar year.
It won't be for
Good.
this season.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a short window,
Yeah.
it's a 60-day window.
So better to get this done, that way we're not in your way.
You guys are the last line, and just, like I said, it'll start on, hopefully, November 1st, and we'll be cleaned up by Christmas.
Okay.
Okay. And it's gonna go in front of the Norec Bay?
Yeah.
Yes, it goes in front of their little.
Yeah,
They have their little beach there.
yeah, that's where the
Right here.
deposition, yeah, that's where the deposition site is. Yeah,
I think it's good.
Thank you.
yeah.
It's solid.
Well, it really doesn't need to be planted because it's actually the
Not a
area where
beach.
there's, you know.
But there was
intimate-
mention of it, like, because there was,
Yeah, and, you know, subsequently of doing it there, if there's any
yeah.
If it makes
disturbance,
sense.
we'll
If
fix
it
it.
makes sense, like
not in front of the
stabilize it so you're not dredging, well, I mean,
Right.
so you're,
Unless you put the material on top of a vegetated area, then you would need to replant, if it's on the beach and there's no vegetation there.
There's no
and it looks like you got plenty of room.
Yeah.
For the amount of spoil you got going out of there, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of room.
All right, yeah, we'll advance it.
Advance it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Do we need stamp plans for this one or no?
No.
No, right? Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Wait,
We're pausing.
so our pen doesn't work and our technology's not working.
Sounds like my morning.
I think that's like our original pen back to the
Yeah.
1600s.
That's a Sharpie too, jeez.
Where's the ink fountain?
Where's the feather? Exactly. Everybody have a good weekend?
Yeah.
We worked.
Good, yeah.
How's
sounds
the
like
trip?
it. Trip, went out to Montana, checked it out.
We're all good to start again? Okay, we're back in action here.
Stay focused.
Stay
Stay
focused.
focused, exactly.
No trips. That's
Where do you want to start? Do you want to
GR Dune Realty Holdings LLC,
Okay.
since that's what,
That's
let's
what's
finish
called
Chip up there.
187 Dune Road. This is a dune restoration. It's more of a component situation. Previous owner had apparently done some vegetation clearing, and it not blew out aggressively, but created a little bit of a bowl. So we're looking to just restore that area that's directly in front of the house and revegetate it. There's some photos. Nothing up digital.
Yeah.
You can pass these around. It's right in front of the house's walkway. It was not vegetated originally, and because it was not vegetated, some of the sand blew away. So we're looking to restore the
Does look like
sand
the
that
other
blew away and revegetate.
This is 187.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks just like the other.
They all
I
look the
was,
same?
I was 1150.
Using sand.
I know. We don't have the benefit
Yeah.
of our technology
Okay.
today.
That's got most of it on. It's but just some background. There was a huge section in front of the walkway. It was probably about 60 feet wide that was unvegetated. That was
Yeah.
supposed to be vegetated.
like this right here, right?
Yeah, you can even see it on the aerial,
I'll be
right.
James.
And because that was unvegetated, it kind of created a little yellow.
Okay.
The wind kind of blew the sand that was
Yeah.
unvegetated. So the new owner's looking to restore that area by trucking in sand and revegetate. It's a pretty simple process.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be using sand out of Georgia, so it is beach sand. And it's all compliant, and I think it's a positive project.
And you have the updated survey of where the dune line is and stuff?
I think that might be on order. I'm not exactly sure. It might show in that
I mean, I
survey.
see that this survey here, it's not, I don't see anything with like the restoration or like the dune line, you know.
Right. That's why we generated the plan to show what's proposed, but yeah, I don't think we have an updated survey showing the topography that's existent.
And you're gonna snow fence this after?
Exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna need, you know, some kind of like,
Plan for that also.
Plan for that.
Yeah, plan
I
for
think it's
that.
included in that. It should be.
Where's the cover sheet?
This is all
see that cover.
I have with me, but you guys have that complete package there.
There you go. Place.
500. Yeah, this is when I called you and I'm like, you
Yeah.
sure you got enough sand? You know,
Yeah.
like, because the dune had changed a lot in that section, but you said you were good. with
I
500.
think it's still good with 500.
Is
It's
there a
just that
plan
hollow.
showing the sand fence? It says sand fence,
I
but is
don't
it on there?
I don't see one on there. I just see like a description of it on the cover sheet, but I don't see, you know, like
Layout of it.
layout. I mean,
Okay.
it smooths things out on our end.
Yep, we can
You know,
update
like if
that.
you could put that and then, you know, an updated survey.
You want to just tackle the sand for now, and then we'll add the sand fence later, because I know.
Yeah, as long as you know you're going to the bottom of the dune, you like, you know, or what do we say usually, like
The toe of the dune, yeah.
toe of the
the dune.
dune, and sometimes 10 foot more or something like
Yeah,
that.
as long as
Yeah.
it doesn't
And it's
interfere.
wood, it's all wood.
Yeah.
So you got a sheet then.
Okay,
Amend the cover sheet. And then you gotta show on the plan exactly where you're going to.
In the survey, you need to, you can amend the permit at a later time to include the sand fencing.
Correct.
okay. We can do that. I'll let's go survey, and
And then you're trying to pump this in before the pullover season.
that's the plan. I mean, we have the sand ready to go, machinery and everything. We could pull it off certainly before flower
Well, our
season.
next meeting's the 18th, so can you get all this jazz together for?
Yeah, I see. Actually, on this is an older plan that wasn't. So you do have the Chris here.
Yeah.
This is kind of what I have right there with you showing the
fencing?
with
Yeah.
the fencing.
Okay. And that should be on what
Yeah, we're kind of crippled without James here, honestly.
Well, because we don't have the technology.
We can't really
Oh,
see
yeah.
what's up to,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
what
the
the
latest-
most current is. What, like going from backwards.
check the stapled pages that I sent you back the other way. The one I handed you guys earlier.
This is up to date usually, right here.
Yeah, and that package that.
But
yeah,
this package is most up to date. I did not. Yeah,
Part of
you
that.
have this right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That is on there.
Okay, it says install sand fence, but it's not
Shown.
shown here.
Well, what's that?
This,
The black, is that this proposed?
yeah, it
Shows
is.
the
Normally,
exact-
yeah,
yeah.
normally, yeah, it's right, it's beyond, yeah. Normally you'll see it.
Yeah,
Like a
get
several
it in
couple
the
layers.
yellow. To get the, if you get
Move
the
it in a
sand
little
fencing
bit?
in the
Yeah,
yellow,
okay.
yes.
and then could do more than just one, I'd say.
you got it.
You know, do what you're actually gonna do, and then
It was double diamond,
Double.
right?
double
Right.
diamond, but then also, you know, you're gonna have to, like I've said in the past with these, is you kinda wanna have the snow fencing doing this. Because right now, they
Yeah,
can't
like a
get, they,
disguise entrance kind of
yes,
thing.
they can't get to the beach, and I'm sure, you know,
Yeah, you're
according to your plan.
Oh, it'll
There's
have
no
to-
beach
Yeah. There's no beach access, so I don't want you to,
going.
you know, like.
Locking them
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get out
They'll
now.
solve a
You
lot
wanna
of
pull it back to the
problems.
yellow.
Yeah, you gotta pull the sand fence back. it.
To- oh, yeah.
To the yellow,
All right,
because
you
you're
got
beyond
it.
it.
Yeah, and then just, I think from here on out with these snow fencing things, is actually show
Line
that.
back.
Show the
You know,
opening.
that's somebody, we do
It's
snow
actually the
fencing, but
dune
it's,
Yeah.
you know, it
on the beach where
establishes
people
kind of like,
driving.
from here on
Yes.
out, everyone's like, it's not just a solid line of fence, because that's not practical either
No,
for the
that's-
homeowner.
That
Yeah,
issues
but
on
not
the,
a runway
people's-
open.
No,
Driving
it's a
and-
Like
staggered.
Yeah, stagger,
Could
so
make
that way
issues
that
with the people
it
driving.
actually works.
Exactly.
All right, so
Yeah.
a couple tweaks,
Sounds to me.
couple tweaks.
And that's my original. I want to, mind if I
So-
get it back?
Yes.
So if we get
The one
this,
that's
This is-
stapled,
this
yeah,
one? Yeah.
that one.
so, look at timing on this stuff. I mean, you want to have this done before 4/1?
Yes.
We have all the stuff, we could put it on for the work session
But then.
and roll it right into the general meeting,
Well, that's the thing, since it's
being that it's
time
time
sensitive
sensitive.
with
and-
the law or not.
Mhm.
You
I
can
mean,
get this
we-
thing done?
We could totally get it done. Yeah, we got the sand, machine power, ready to go, beach grass.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him dragging it out.
Right, so you gotta get to James prior to that, and then we would have to have a resolution written. for that.
Yeah, we'd have the
1
work
o'clock
session and an adoption of it, being that it's time sensitive with the plow, already erosion on the dune, we want to make sure that it's set up for the summer, and we want to have the grass planted in the springtime so it can be watered and taken care of.
Right, so you got your work cut out
Yeah.
for we, because of now.
Okay. I was gonna say we could just tackle the sand and update on the fencing, but that you guys.
I mean, it shouldn't take you much to
No,
move
it's
that
easy.
back,
Very simple.
okay?
All right.
While you're messing with it,
Yeah.
just move it back.
And I
Right.
didn't catch, we're all set up on there, as far as, yeah, I
Yeah.
figured, yeah,
12 inches on center,
yeah, yeah.
Native American beach grass.
Yep.
Yeah, you should be able to do that.
I just want to nail down for the next one, so you're good to go.
Totally.
We can kind of get this out of the way before April 2nd, is it?
First.
First?
See that you have to have monitors, all kinds of.
Not going there.
So are we good with that one? You know what you gotta do on this one?
Yep, thank you.
So now, while you're there, let's go back to Sunset Point Enterprise LLC,
Sorry
130
about that.
Point
Is that good?
Cox.
Uh, Here it is. So this is existing revetment that was permitted and built. And this has also got a bunch of
Yeah.
non-native material seaward of the
That's the one we're talking
revetment.
Revetment,
Yeah.
okay.
We're,
Yeah.
130.
Are we talking
Oh, we're
about,
going third? I thought there's two squires.
about.
No, we're gonna go easy. We're
We're
gonna
gonna-
finish Chip up first.
Gotcha. I got it.
130 Point Mecox, and then we'll go to
Yeah.
get Chip squared away.
Makes sense.
let's get out of the Atlantic and
Yeah.
into Shinnecock.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And of course, I have that file with me.
You don't have this file?
No. 130 Point Mecox, that's a
That was basically some, did it?
yes.
Somebody, just, with the clear pine?
That's on the 130 Point Mecox is a bayside. I don't know what that is. Yeah,
This is in that
it's a
file?
dock.
Yeah.
That was illegally put in by a
Ye-
construction company. you
Yeah,
know,
exactly,
yes.
we're legalizing,
Legalizing it to Mecox Bay.
exactly.
It goes
So
from the new
what's that
development
stuff?
to, or
All right, so
the
his-
lot that's on the north side of, Flank Point.
Yep. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we were hired to legalize that dock, and at the same time, they had to bring the buffer area up to compliance. We did,
Yes.
and now it's,
We had discussed this previously at another,
yeah, we
meeting.
were waiting for the buffer area to
This is
update it.
1151.
with
Then
Marty, yes.
with Marty's
You need
office
the
now,
130, you
we're
get the
back
130
Yeah.
file?
That's
to
why I was-
legalize the dock.
It's the next one down.
Yeah.
Next one. Hang on.
I'm at your
Hold on a
service.
second here.
I'm not going anywhere.
We got a pile of files here. Here we go.
It's amazing how crippled we are without James.
You know what it is with the screens?
With
that
the screens, it's
everybody
kinda like
look-
everybody's on the
right,
same
because now-
page, yeah.
Right,
Really.
exactly.
I get it.
Everyone can
Now we're
see.
kind of like scrambling with pictures here.
Because
I
it's,
know.
you can look at
And
what you
files.
want, everybody, and
Files
what
are
you
The
easy.
see.
file, and then you have like old files and new files.
Yeah, I am.
It's just the
with
way we used to do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, this is,
How did we survive all those
this
decades?
is not stressful, this is
This is
easy.
easy.
Yeah, this is easy. All right,
I
here we
know,
go.
I used
now.
to bring sets of 5.
That's right,
Yeah.
6.
and pizza.
Plans.
Yeah.
And pizza. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, so this was really before my here of what actually went down.
Yeah, so this was a dock into.
Yeah, and I talked to James about
Sands
it because
Creek.
originally there was like 4 holes for a little dock, and then I was like, that's
this-
a little
we're
excessive.
talking-
So I was like, make sure you nail down that you want
We're talking this here,
just the
right?
2 poles.
Yes, that's what it looks
Okay.
like,
For the
yeah.
float.
Float, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there was like a discrepancy. It was like all over the place, and I'm like,
Right.
they really got to nail this
I
down.
can't
as
read
far
any of
as,
this
like-
stuff. Can you read any of this stuff? What is all that? See? you
So
can
right here,
blow it up.
construction of new dock, 30 by 4 foot
2 by
catwalk,
3.
foot by foot ramp, and a 6 by 20 foot float.
And the dimension off the adjacent property line is what?
Yeah, I don't know. because
Yeah,
we-
this is the one where we had pitched loader over to make it so it would be within the
Right.
10-foot.
Okay,
So
so-
instead of a T, they
An L?
Yeah.
They made
yeah.
an L.
Right, so that's, let me
Now
see,
it
this
Yeah,
is what I was looking
now I
for.
remember this.
What I was looking
Yeah.
for.
But
And this is showing the 10-foot.
Right.
This one just makes it.
Yes.
yeah, because Marty wouldn't let you change the
Path,
way,
the path.
Exactly
So
right.
the only way we're getting around this is by making it an L dock.
Then
And
it's
then it had
compliant.
4 poles on it, and I was like, make sure it's 2.
Just 2, yeah.
Then
This-
it meets Blue Book.
And then now, quite frankly, those numbers for Swan Creek are a little suspect. But is this dock gonna have the thing to keep it off the bottom when it's on the bottom?
We go off the surveyor, so
Yeah.
whatever,
I understand
Yeah.
off the surveyor, but I know
Who did the sounding?
we can chalk it.
Yeah.
Depends what the
they've
water
been
level
existing
is.
in there for a while. But
Probably sea level.
It
What?
just doesn't say, does it say who soundings?
Probably.
But I mean, those are like the
Probably
same,
sea
because
level.
there's
Did no
like,
soundings. Where's the survey?
there's like 3
The
docks that have the same soundings
the
in there
survey?
on that end
Mhm.
of Swan Creek.
Certified to
We
that
could chalk it
person.
if
Yeah.
you prefer,
Who-
put it that way.
What?
We could chalk it if you want, but that,
But
And
does he
survey.
have, but he
I
doesn't
think you
have
can
the,
make
he does he
Yeah.
have the bathymetrics?
It's a formula.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
four.
but where is this not on here?
But problem with Mecox, it's really not something,
It's not titled.
not
Yeah, right
titled,
now
so-
it's like dam, so that's basically like the last,
wind.
the dock, adjacent to this, I inspected and it's sitting on the bottom.
Wow.
It looks like it's meeting
Yeah.
look at plans as you're submitting
Yeah,
it now.
so you're
Alright.
good as far as that goes, but if you could make it so the dock's not, I mean, you
Why don't we
guys
chalk it up
chalk
30
it
inches?
anyway,
Yeah,
what?
30 inches. It won't sit on
do
the
that.
bottom.
Well, if you chalk it 30 inches, it's not gonna be a floater anymore.
Well, that's what,
Quite frankly.
well, that's parameters for a
Yeah.
floater. You wanna chalk
Chalk
it
it
at
about
18
there.
inches?
Chalk it at
Chalk it
18.
at 18, so that way, because
Then it can be a
it's pretty
functional
firm
dock?
down
Yeah.
that end of Way,
Okay.
but yeah, those soundings are,
Just makes Blue,
yeah,
Yeah.
but you either make it or you
18
don't.
inches. All right, so I'll note chalk at 18 inches.
yeah.
That would work.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
got your stamp plans on this thing?
So what?
I don't know, we don't have stamp plans
No.
on that either.
He's gonna need to
We'll need to.
change them,
Yeah, and just, because there was like multiple plans coming, I talked to James about this, he might have forwarded to your office, but there was like 2 sets of plans side by side. Had 4 poles, one had 2, so nail down
Just
that
2
it's just
poles.
2 poles.
Yeah,
You can't chalk it with 2 poles, you need 4 poles.
you do need,
That's right, otherwise, yeah, you're not gonna be
That's
able
right.
to do it.
The chalks are on the floater, no?
No, they're
Wow.
usually like a,
it's like a bolt kind of thing. That you
Between
put
the
on
two-
the piles to
Yeah,
suspend it.
you put a 2x6 or a 6x6.
So it rests. on
Yeah.
the-
Okay, I thought the chocks were actually on the floater.
No, they
itself.
don't, they don't work.
Squeeze
They
it,
get
do
they
that,
get
and
stuck,
then-
right?
They get stuck in the mud or that,
Exactly.
yeah, they're not functional.
So it's on the pile, so the
That's
pile's
what-
prevented from
yeah,
going
you-
past that
yeah,
18
you-
inches.
Two piles on each end and put
Yeah, like a
girder,
bolt on
a girder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
that's how
girder
it
that,
it sits on.
yeah.
So you would need 4 piles in order for it to be.
Now, I'm just
fun-
gonna put this out there. I know that we just made him go through all this, but you put 4 poles with a girder in Swan Creek, it'll get wrecked with the ice.
with the ice.
It's gonna get
Well,
destroyed.
this, we can seasonally take it out. I
Make it
can
a
put that on
seasonal
there.
dock,
Yeah.
ramp and float, and seasonal dock. All except for this winter.
Well, yeah. But as far as like the, how imperative is the chalking? Just out of curiosity.
It meets the blue book, so I think it's fine.
Right
Yeah.
now, the way that's submitted, the action and the depth of water, it meets the blue book.
Okay, so
I-
it'll.
I-
It
don't
really,
need chalk.
I don't
I'd
think.
go
we-
with that.
Yeah,
I would go
All
with
right,
It's the
that
blue book,
So-
I would go with the blue
as
book.
2
submitted.
piles.
2 piles.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just.
I'm with you.
Well, I'm
You're
just
going
trying to
beyond,
make
you know,
it-
you
I
get-
know.
sometimes you get beyond the stuff and it,
Right.
Yeah.
it creates
It
more.
creates more of a mess. If you
Anything
chalk
else.
it- if you start like 4 poling in that creek, it's gonna be a mess.
If
Especially
you,
the ice
if you
coming.
stick
Yeah.
to the blue book, it should be fine.
Yeah.
And still make it dock and float.
Yeah, seasonal.
Yes,
Well, then you don't have to worry about the ice.
yes,
Then it, you
Well-
not wrecking your stuff and,
Yeah.
I
right?
didn't mention seasonal.
yep. That- Yep.
Very advanced.
Thank you,
Now,
Sorry for the
we're gonna go
confusion.
back to the one that you wanted to talk about,
which is you,
Madeline.
Madeline.
EQ 2 Squires Avenue. Reconstruct an existing rock revetment,
Right.
approximately 5 by 235, 100 cubic yards of sand, and plant beach grass. You want to rebuild existing 4x8 stairs and remove existing Japanese knotwood along the shoreline and replant with beach grass, treated wood, and you're going to use open grate material for the stair treads.
That's exactly right. We're also pulling the existing revetment off the property line.
So you're cleaning it up and putting it on the applicant's property.
Exactly.
Right. Here's his design. Removing
This is the old
portion.
Caffrey house.
Yes.
Yeah, we're removing this portion here. Exactly.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
The only discussion was you were gonna find out about the remains of the old dock that's there, whether or not you were gonna
So the
cut them off or something.
previous was kept in repair, so I think there was a thought to do something on the seaward side. You had
Was-
mentioned.
Yeah, well, some of the, there was some deck, there was no decking on part of it.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years
I
ago.
mean, we'll come back to you on, with respect to that dock. I did walk the dock. It seemed sturdy and
Yeah.
functional, but I would agree some of those posts need to be replaced.
Yeah.
So if we could treat that separately and come back.
You go with that?
Yeah. And the sand material you're gonna get from Cleanup Land Source? Because I know, Romano Drive is trying to do a dredging project, but I don't know when that is scheduled for, so.
Yeah, let's not make this.
I'm not gonna hold you
Let's
up.
not go more
No.
beyond the blue book, trying to complicate
No,
things.
no, no, making a comment.
Okay. And,
So that one, as long as we have all the requirements needed, plans and whatnot, then that one, I think, could advance this one.
Stamp plans?
I don't think that has stamp plans yet.
Right, so I think you're
Okay.
gonna need,
We're gonna need that.
yes.
Okay.
Going down the list here, while you're there, Joseph,
Water's Edge.
Water's Edge.
449's Edge. I wanted to bring this back up on topic. There it is. So, Chip, thanks for coming down the other week. This is an ongoing, we've been talking about this project for a while. This is the property that the bulkhead was built by, I guess, 2 owners ago in 1968. They did not have a trustee's permit. We're looking to legalize that bulkhead, add a buffer, legalize the dock that also did not have a permit and was built around the same time, and kind of clean this property up with respect to that. I think, from my point of view, and they've been at this for 2 years. Nice family, unfortunately, they didn't understand they needed permits to replace their windows on the seaward side, so they got a stop work order, and that was 2 years ago, so everything's been held up based on this activity. They haven't been able to live in the house. It's been a huge burden on them. Obviously, they're learning about all of this and didn't understand that the house that they bought did not have a trustee's permit. 68. I know that I have been before this board before and legalized docks or bulkheads that have been built without a permit ages ago. So I'd like to see if we could treat that the same way with this.
We have other.
Well, I mean, I know the Conservation Board was very upset with the evolution of plans, and I know we wanted to meet with them before.
Right.
So,
Yeah, the
Right.
Conservation Board is not a fan of this bulkhead. They'd like it removed.
Right.
But then we're gonna have them, with the grade of the property, it's gonna be a
Right.
mess.
It's an issue.
I think the most sensible thing to do here relative to this situation where you need, and we've all seen the evidence of having a couple of jurisdictions that are stepping on each other's toes and creating more problems. And I think what makes sense based on the advisory that we have, and based on conversation that I've had with Chairman Ludlow, we need to expand our conversation to see if we can't figure out what we can here, okay? And I spoke to Chairman Ludlow about this about a week ago. He said he needed a little bit of time
Okay.
to take a look at it, and he and I were gonna, together collaboratively go down there and take a look at it and see where we can try and resolve some issues without, poking anybody.
I mean, just looking at it with the low sill was even kind of like questionable with the grade.
Yeah, and that was.
That's my concern.
But I think that when you, all sensible statements and concerns, and I think that when you can have a bit of a creation on that to say, all right, look, here's the issue, really, how can this be resolved? Because, we've seen that just tearing structures out at times does more than good.
Right.
So that's not, perhaps a viable option, but you have to find some resolution to it, and I think that can be better solved beneficially by expanding this discussion. I already had a conversation.
Okay.
Scott, I would recommend an advisory opinion from the con board.
they already.
We're
You
past
have
that
one
already.
already?
They gave
Yes,
one,
okay, good.
Yeah, we're well past that.
And once you reach a final conclusion, 'cause it sounds like you're gonna have meetings with them, which I would advise be just with theirs, then a final advisory opinion based on changes that are probably gonna pop up would be advisable.
Because it has evolved a few times, right?
Well, the conversation, the most recent conversation was between myself and Chairman Ludlow to try and put our heads together on what makes sense with the concerns of both boards and how we sensibly resolve this. Because their perspective, I also understand the need for us to have consistency in what it is that we do and why we do it. And I served on that board for 4 years, as you know, so I'm well aware of
Yeah.
what to do. And like I said, I want to find resolutions that work for work for people. And I'd rather be more collaborative than poking people in the eye. And I think that if you have sensible people that could, look at the situation and say,
Yeah.
what can we do here that makes
Okay.
it work?
Both of the abutting shorelines are vegetated shorelines with no bulkheads. They seem to be
Yeah.
functioning fine.
Re-
It's put in without a permit, so right away, there was no overview, and basically, it's a net loss of a wetland, so can't be in favor of doing something without gaining, at least having basically a gain of the original wetlands that are flourishing on both sides of it right now.
Do you want a piecemeal? you want piecemeal and maybe you approve the dock and then come back to the bulkhead later?
I mean, the dock is probably an issue too, because I remember this with Fred Havermeyer, because there was 3 docks and they were all like on top of each other and over each other's extended lines. I remember there was because this isn't the first time I've seen this.
Been here for a
But
while.
first off, I mean, for us to approve a bulkhead that was put in legal, no oversight and having a net loss of a wetland, that would be against what the trustees are
Yeah.
about. So we should come up with a plan that would, consistent with the 2 adjoining properties to, reconstruct a wetlands, a functional wetlands, and basically, work.
In order to do something like that, the whaler that's higher up,
Yeah, that little curb.
yeah, the curb,
down.
that's gonna have to be substantiated and,
Yeah.
they're gonna lose that, basically, they're gonna lose that wetlands in order for,
Well, when they,
up to what Ed wants out of the project. I was more of consistency of having like, let's make sure that grade is stabilized and not going in. So that was my main concern with that project because of the extent of the grade. Well, now in order to go forward with something that might allow the conservation board to be happy with the project and some of the other trustees, like that rear whaler is gonna have to be more of the structure
a retaining
that
wall.
is gonna retain the
Yeah.
upland, so that's gotta be addressed.
We did propose this low sill bulkhead with a wetland and a retaining wall.
Yeah,
That is probably a decent compromise. However, the jeopardy that it puts the property owners in, since this bulkhead was built prior to the DEC regulations, that property does have the benefit of no jurisdiction from the DEC because they built that bulkhead legally.
so not the whole
In the eyes of
DC
the
process
DEC.
if you change, yeah.
Exactly, so it really changes the complexion of the
Well,
property.
but the thing is, like, even with the DEC permits now where they do take jurisdiction, they still kicking it back to us on the local level to make the adjustments as things such as elevation. Because they're giving you a number, and then we're setting the number
The
based
number.
on local on-site characteristics. So I just think it makes sense to me, since we have an advisory, communication, we're trying to resolve the issue for the greater good.
Yeah.
Let Chairman Ludlow and myself meet on site. Let us go down the list of concerns and of this board and that board and see where we have commonalities and where things make sense so that we accomplish what we all want to accomplish.
I would be happy to be at that meeting.
All right, well, let me,
Let me know when that.
yeah, absolutely.
And Joe, it'd be great if you.
Let me continue my conversation. We just spoke, really last week, and let me continue that conversation.
I mean, these people are in a dire situation. They're trying to button their house up and actually.
We understand. We don't want to create further dire situations
Yeah, I
for
get
this
it.
board.
I get
You
it.
know,
As a purchaser of a waterfront property, your first mandate should be the environment. This, to me, is not you're gonna give a bulkhead with a green lawn that's gonna slope right into the bay, and it's just outside of a shellfish growing area, because I know it's unsensitive here. But I mean, this water body has been an extremely productive, fishing, shellfishing area for decades. And I think it was prudent upon us to, could be consistent to what the previous board had already looked at this, and I was on that board, so I was. So I'm trying to give something that the homeowner can live with, and that we can live in, and it's gonna be a positive for the
Right, so
environment.
you have decades of experience of people doing these things that are willing to get around the table and see what makes sense. So I would say, let's hold this and let's let this process just chug its
Again, happy to meet. One thing to keep in mind, when they go to the conservation board, the conservation will impose a larger buffer area, so we'll get a buffer on this property,
Which it needs.
which it needs, exactly.
But
Right.
presently, during storm events, is there much flooding there, or what's the? I mean,
There's, yeah, I mean, Fish Cove does get
Okay.
excessive floods,
Okay.
for sure.
There's no
It's-
wave fetch there, though.
No wave
so
fetch
you-
at all.
So you're
It's
not
all
gonna be dealing with erosion with
Yeah.
large waves.
It's just flooding.
Yeah, Just to let you know.
Because there's
Yep.
no way back.
So
Exactly.
making a shoreline that could take the flooding, when the water recedes, it'd be fine. I think that'll be my mission.
There are a lot of things at play.
I'm not opposed to the low sill bulkhead idea. I think everybody kind of wrapped their head around that. Actually, Bill, met with Joe.
I like the
Embraced that idea. So we could certainly go back to that.
Okay.
Right. Let's,
Hold.
Hold. Okay.
yeah, let's continue that conversation.
And I will come back for the other one if you want. Matt's.
So there's this one here is on the hold. Matt, while you're here, let's just
Continue to
yeah,
Yeah.
beat me up. Why not?
yes. You're not
No,
getting,
I joke. I come in late. This is
you were late.
my
We're
fault.
marking you late.
So we're going for 11
Party.
Pine Tree Lane, West Hampton?
Yes, 11 Pine Tree Lane. This is a low sill bulkhead. Rock wall. Just where this is last. So there's a low sill bulkhead that will be just above low water. And in the upper portions of the property, at height mark, there is a proposed, this is the
Stone, right?
plan, the stone wall, yes. See where that will be, line of core lot. If anybody needs to see this plan, it is right here.
My biggest concern was that they're gonna be tied in with the neighbors. You know, there's no return on the southern end, and there's already erosion
Mhm.
coming in there. So if they build a low sill bulk, we'll just do nothing to stop that erosion from continuing.
I believe the adjacent properties have bulkheads.
They do have bulkheads, but the one to the south doesn't have a return. Right there.
Okay.
It's just bulkhead to bulkhead.
Yeah, yeah.
And so because the one at 11 is failed,
Mhm.
it's sucking in material from the southern neighbor. Thing on here about how that's going to be rectified.
All right, good question. We could build the
there's no return
returns
there, that's-
of either zone
Mm-hmm.
to connect to the existing bulkhead, which probably is the, or
That's
do
just
the
what
low
you
sill
got.
to connect
This is the low sill.
back. Reverse returns
Okay.
that would at least contain the soil that's then leaving this property.
Right, right.
That might be the best way, actually.
I mean, the return would,
These-
the
these
return is gonna have to be the height of the other
It
bulkhead
would
though.
have to kind of creep
That's-
up.
It's-
You know, like if you put the return at the same height as the low sill bulkhead, then you're still gonna have the upland draining in
Off the adjoining.
the
which
property,
is-
so it's
Which is
almost.
not gonna
Not
be good.
gonna,
Yeah.
not gonna be good.
It's like, here, look, you see, maybe you need to,
Put a vinyl one in the south. They didn't put a vinyl matching one into the south.
to the height of the adjoining
The
property
existing-
owner.
Yeah, yeah, on both sides, on at least the south
The
side.
north side's fine because they have the vinyl. That
So
southern
we could
side.
add a vinyl return on the south side at the same height as the existing south bulkhead.
It's the
Yeah,
only
they
way you're
passed
gonna,
it.
Already gotta
Yeah.
retain it.
otherwise you're just gonna,
Cause problems for them.
yeah,
We're gonna segregate out
You're gonna have
properties, and that way one,
you're not affecting
basically,
the other
they
guy.
wanna be free, standing with their,
I
But otherwise,
kinda
it
like
looks
that
a good
idea.
You know, I like the low sill bulkhead. I like the establishing of
Well, it
wetland
already
and the
is low
planting.
sill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you'll get the benefits of the low sill and not the negative impacts to the adjoining property.
yeah.
Because they would be coming in complaining next. Because
Yes,
they're gonna
exactly
continue
right.
getting,
On that south side, we'll propose a return at the same height in vinyl,
Yeah.
and that will that'll come up to the proposed rock wall.
Is there anything
Yeah.
to stabilize up already, as far as like, is there high tide bushes there or anything that?
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's all
backers there
natural,
right
yeah,
now.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So it is
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
hold while you
yeah,
do
yeah.
this project, yeah, that's,
Yeah, check it. It's all vegetated grasses,
well, that's the-
bushes.
Yeah, it's pretty healthy.
you just gotta protect the adjoining property.
Makes sense. I like that idea.
Well, you're maintaining the property with the low sill, and then you have a second line of defense with the rocks above it, so the waves that break there will be dispersed energy dispersed, and everything in that area should grow back in.
So
Okay.
you're gonna go back to the drawing board, revise your cover sheet, revise your plans.
Add that south
That,
return.
yeah, show that whole thing, and then come back,
Very good.
right?
This is
Matthew?
being held.
Huh?
Held.
Yes, yeah, he's got work to do.
Very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right, let's go back to
7 Norton.
7 Norton Place, North Sea. Environment.
You're up.
Hello. Hello.
Kate Rummel, Cole Environmental.
Morning, everyone. I'm John Batt. How are you?
John.
John, how are you doing?
Great.
Seen you in a little while. How's the sailing club going in this?
Oh, it's just really, that's just such a great resource. And,
Really is.
We'd love to get some dredging down there, but good luck.
That's a different application.
Oh, I know it's a different application, but every time it comes up, I'm just like,
Talking about Fort Pond.
yeah, Fort Pond.
Well, I've
It's a
been going
great
to meetings,
resource.
that's like an initiation when you come on the board, they send you to Fort Pond Dredge meetings. I when I started going to those meetings.
Although somebody set up some more permanent, the channel is more permanent than just those Whitmore, which really, really helps a lot, particularly for someone like a stink pot operator like myself.
We do have better buoys and navigational aids now, so.
Yeah, I know. I tell people, don't touch that thing. It's set up perfectly.
Well, I did take a boat ride with the county to look over the, redrawing channel and everything last fall. So it's moving forward, but, it just runs into loggerhead when it comes with the college and everything.
It's
Dredge,
terrible.
dredge,
Yeah, and you know what? It was all set up years ago, and then the village stuck their nose in, which is too bad. 'Cause
Yes.
it was all that to have been lined up, but
well, and then.
It was all headed to D Road.
yeah, which is, as a kid, we would drive down there, and there was dredging. They would always put the spoil
Right.
down there, and it wasn't,
I know.
on upland,
I know.
Yeah.
And everybody survived and it all was fine.
And it was all
And
fine.
now, with that whole area, because you had the proposed situation going on hospital, and then you're close to all those other residential communities, and even though the environmental benefits of dredging that would last for several generations,
Several generations.
yeah, there would be a couple of weeks or a month of, smelling of low tide on a regular basis, but that's temporary. But the positive benefit lasts.
Oh, forever, you get some flush in there.
Yes,
So-
exactly.
And people, you gotta kind of understand that it's a balance, and you gotta kind of roll with that, but we've kind of, it's off in the weeds, unfortunately, and hopefully we can get it on track, and, because there's a lot of people spend a lot of time on this already.
It's like people don't realize, when you provide an opportunity for people to be in, whether they're, people duck hunting in wetlands or people out in a sailboat or something, that's what makes conservationists.
Exactly, and you've got to make bold decisions, and sometimes there is inconvenience, and sometimes, it does make a mess. At any of these projects, they make a bit of a mess until you actually clean them all up, and you have to look beyond that. You have to look down through the generations. You got that beautiful science lab there, you
Yeah.
got all of this goodness there, and like I said, I've been to these meetings through on Zoom, through COVID, the whole thing, trying to keep moving that ball forward, and it'll happen someday.
I did them for 7 years. I did them for 10 years before
And then
that.
they're like,
My father did them for 20
Right,
some
and
odd
when I was the new guy,
decades.
they're like, the new guys here, it's like initiation. Oh, you have to go to meetings,
When you first talk about it, you're all excited to get a project that started in the 60s and has ended up here. So,
Anyway,
That
Where are
room. I used to remember that room there.
Yeah.
That was the room.
we'll stay on this application here.
all right. Where are we
You have the
now?
floor.
Well,
So, this has this already, well, I guess we're here because she was issued, a violation for, putting some additional decking on top of the bulkhead. And obviously, the existing dock is right on the property line, so it's not 10 feet off. I believe previously it did cross over. She's since moved it, so it is just right on the property line. And so we're looking to discuss legalizing the docks is. There is a pretty healthy marsh there. So there are
Oh,
like
there
a
is.
couple constraints. It's a relatively healthy marsh where, I don't know if you guys have photos,
We don't have, we usually
You
have the
know.
stuff on
Yeah.
the screens, but we don't
We're
today.
limited today here.
but there is healthy marsh, and
People been able
Her
to go down there, it's really, it's
dock
working.
is right on the edge, basically. So if she were to move it, she's constrained by her property lines, and so she would have to go like into the actual marsh if she were to move it. Also, she needs the dock to be ADA compliant, so we do have to be mindful of, the pitch and everything. So if we were to move it, existing bulkhead, we would have to work around that, which could make things difficult.
So, from my take, if ever, I mean, the board has given relief in the past sparingly, and as they should, for that setback, but if ever there was a case for relief, I think this is probably the best one. One of the things I remember, rest his soul, was with the trustees and your dad and rewriting the blue book. It was one of the things that was concerned about the setback was to make sure that you're not messing up people's ability out of their property. So this is not a floating dock section. There's no big boats coming in here. Essentially just for kayak. Number one. So those general concerns that you would have about hugging the property of the next door neighbor are not here. It's the this is almost like a textbook. We've heard before the zoning board of appeals, which again, that's not your same standards, but has some of the same arguments. It's an odd shaped lot. The dock starts in effect going off as soon as it is at the property line. It veers off as quickly as possible. And you have a situation here where I'd urge you all to go down and look at it. The owner, family member, is wheelchair bound. This actually works right now. In order to meet the ADA requirements, we would have to have, in effect, switchback ramps eating well into that 50-foot setback. And I don't know if anyone has ever talked to you about ADA compliance. It's a pretty pervasive thing, and I guess I was thinking about this on the way over. As much as we all love the Stuart monarchies, particularly James II, I don't think his royal patent trumps trumps ADA compliance. So, and in order to do that, essentially what you would have to do, and I urge everyone to go down there and look at it. What you would have to,
Which I did, by the way.
oh, okay.
No, I was
That's
there.
right. No, I remember. I think it's one of those things that being on site sees the obvious benefits of the application. Wouldn't be, I think you're really going to be, to move it in the center creates compliance problems with the ADA in terms of getting access. It works beautifully there for the wheelchair person, but even if that wasn't the case, given the nature of the dock, given its limited impact, given the fact that it immediately veers off I guess that's the northwest from the property line. It doesn't create the typical issues that you would have if this was a 100-foot long dock with a floating section out and somebody was bringing a series of 20, 25, 30-foot boats in there. So I would request that if the board members could go take a look at it before they made up their mind.
According to this picture, it's not even within the property line, correct?
I mean, that's GIS, so it's not,
Yeah,
so it's not the most accurate. Yeah, but according to the
notoriously
survey,
according to the survey, it is.
yeah, it's right
So,
on the property line.
which dock are we looking at? This one, or I mean, two, I'm looking at the one,
This one is what I got on
The next door neighbor has a
Yeah.
Yeah.
We discussed that,
which
yeah.
interestingly, if I
So-
may,
I'm
this
looking, I'm,
Is it legal though?
No, we're trying to legalize it. No.
You know theirs.
no,
no,
it's
I
not,
mean,
See, that's the
Same
thing.
contractor.
See, that's
not,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
the wall and everything has been placed there in the last, I'm very familiar with this.
No,
See, this is a problem, you know.
Yeah, this is, a-
Oh, I don't, that aspect of it, what do I have to say?
Nothing,
Yeah,
it's just a
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, no. I'm not pounding on my fist.
I mean, the applicant does have the ability to move the dock to the north and to make it compliant to need. He is using light penetrating decking, which would be good over the vegetated shoreline, which will allow the grass to grow there. Where right now, it basically, it dead ends right into the wetlands, so I
Well, we're
would.
gonna extend it, right, why don't you explain that, because,
Now,
We
it's
move it.
something I would never approve this in the way it is right now, because it goes into the wetlands
I'm
and,
not talking about leaving the dock in the dimension that is, speak to that if you would. I'm talking about, it would be extended to get out to that.
To move the stairs, right?
to the sand here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
to the beach.
My focus is on the setback. I think we.
You mean the 10-foot setback to the
Yeah,
property line?
Yeah, because
Yes.
that's
My focus. Any sort of,
But-
I think we talked about extending.
Well, if we move it,
No, we're
then
not talking
she's.
about moving, we're talking
No,
about
I know, but
extending it, yeah.
he's
That's
saying
my
that she
question.
has time if she's moved, but if she moves it, it's going to be, like, her property lines are going to constrain her, so she can't go out beyond the marsh. So she would have to be in
10
the
foot of
marsh.
either.
So she's gonna
either
be
side.
violating that 10-foot no matter what,
Both
because you
sides,
extend the
both
property
sides of
line,
the
is that what
way.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Basic, I mean, she's gonna be violating the 10-foot and in the marsh, violating foot and on the edge of the
Well, you
marsh.
brought us a real good one here. Huh?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
told you.
I mean, to have everything on top of each other like this, doesn't even nice. I mean, to move the dock to the north along the northern edge of the property where the meadow is a little bit closer to the, the bulkhead, would allow a shorter dock and allow you access to the creek where they would have some water, and it would be off the vegetated wetlands. Right now, the dock is completely, it goes right into the wetlands.
I know we want to extend it out past that, though.
No, but what Eddie's saying is if you could make the dock shorter and probably get it within the 10 feet if you side of the property.
Yeah,
Correct.
like right here.
I
could get it
understand what you're
compliant.
saying. I
To
understand.
get it compliant, so you're not going across such a large expanse of wetlands.
So over on this
But
feet over. So the problem is,
Show the triangulation of the.
Yeah.
is that her,
Goes like this.
Yeah, it's right there.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you could just
Yeah, you-
make it, it would
yeah,
be
you would.
better, you know?
You would make it right in here. There's room in here.
Because we need to also be
I mean, this is
mindful
what you're talking
of the
about,
pitch,
the
because her daughter
the
has.
triangulation here.
I get that.
This is
balance.
this is the dock now, whether it's
Right,
where,
right.
move it over here, it's
Yeah.
there's less wetlands, you'd access a little bit deeper water, and you have, not vegetation here, so the neighbor's not looking at your dock, and you'd still have a little bit of room to work.
Well, I'm not to be honestly, I'm not terribly concerned about the neighbor, because the neighbor dropped a dime
I'm
on it, so
not-
to speak.
but
He's
I'm-
in violation himself. So
I'm
not-
trying
yeah,
to,
yeah.
this neighbor here, I'm not worried about. I'm worried about trying to make this work in this
Okay,
area.
okay.
You do have a little bit of room. You're having less negative effect on the environment with the dock going off
This
here.
is a shorter run to
It's a
the
shorter
sand,
run.
the sand,
Yeah,
as
and it's
opposed
less
to-
wetlands with high penny decking. The wetlands would flourish underneath there, and you'd acquire some water.
We'd
that
have
you-
to rebuild the bulkhead as well, though, right? Because the bulkhead right now is literally.
Yeah, have
Falling
to
apart?
do, no, it's not falling apart, but it would have to go up and over.
When was that cap
So
done?
she has,
There was
let's
that.
see if I have it.
Yeah, but it's all out of permit, so, we're trying to
where they're
make
changing it.
something
Depends
work
where they're,
with our
back is.
regulations and still acquire access, ADA access, and have, a deeper water and less negative effect on wetlands.
Could I ask everyone to go down there and take a look at it?
Sure.
Really what I want to do is see, I don't think there's, so, then we're gonna have to go in there, we're gonna have to take out the dock, okay? And I know, it's very, because I respect, make most of my living getting permits for people. And as opposed to people coming in and say, here it is, it was done without permits. I understand that. I understand why there's a huge and understandable, as there should be, hesitance to just say, but I think if you go down there, we would have to take out the existing dock, which is, yes, it's illegal, we're here to try to legalize it, that would be disturbance. To take it, retrofit, when I say rebuild, retrofit the bulkhead, because there's literally a door right through the bulkhead, right now. It works so beautifully for it. I think long-term, the benefits from just leaving it is just like you folks to consider that. And
Well,
whatever you do, you do.
No, I got
understand,
it. We gotta look at this.
That's
You know
what I
what?
wrote. The other application we have is in the same neck of the woods
Here,
down here,
where's
so.
this? see, you know what it is, it's like,
But it's a shame that the neighbors just didn't get along and just to
Yeah.
combine the bulkhead on the property line for both pieces
Yeah,
of
but now-
property.
now
I'd be
looking
like,
at-
now they're fighting with each other and
Listen,
a mountain out of a molehill.
I live in a little, I live in the village, on a half an acre, about a stone throw. I'm in an R75 zone. I'm gonna tell you this for a reason. As you could imagine, I get notices in the mail for people wanting to do stuff all the time. You know something? It's their property. I don't care. It's unbelievable. People call me up all the time and say, "My neighbor did this," and I pick up the phone and call your neighbor. Did you pick up the phone and call your neighbor? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't know who my neighbor is. Did you pick up the phone? I'm just. It's my long-winded way of agreeing. I can't even pick up the phone and call.
Looking at these pictures that she got, I think that Ed has the best proposal. And I think that's really the only thing that's gonna fly.
Go down and look at it.
No, I understand,
Yeah.
but like, there's no reason that, you couldn't have some kind of ramp going up to the higher grade.
I did go down there.
Right,
It's a
yeah.
tight spot for me. In a walker, it was tight, so just to let you know.
I think that we could go there and look at it. I think.
You may not change your mind. but-
Right. We always try it, because we're not the ZBA, or, we don't grant relief. We try and get these projects to fit compliance. You know what, there's gotta be, when you're talking about the ADA stuff, you need to really segregate out why there's this, it's important.
You have granted relief from the 10-foot setback in the past.
Yeah, but this is.
I don't recall.
I don't
that,
even know
but
if this is.
we-
within
I'm
the
sure at
10-foot
some point in time
setback.
it was, but
Yeah,
we, since I've
but
been
they
here,
do
we've
have an
always-
option, but they do have an option.
Moving
If we had done that previously, there was no options. I mean, there was been 10-foot wide easements, docks granted, and the dock is 4 feet wide, so there's, which I understand, but this is a different.
Okay.
Right, so I think
Look
it's
at it.
important, if that's the case, you build that
Let
case.
us look at it as
Because we
let's
can't,
do a site visit.
I think this is-
see, what happens is
I mean,
every.
it may not change your mind, but I think really the sad part of it for me is it's just,
These are
I think
all
you
yours,
probably
I
have
believe.
more
I
impact.
think
More-
the unstable
more
ones
disturbance
are-
to wetlands, is what
As
you're saying.
opposed,
Is that Joe's?
just to extending the existing one, so that we have into where there is no vegetation. That was my thought. I think you end up with more disturbance, and it's a difficult.
You're gonna have to double the length of the dock.
Yeah.
The whole thing, with the other dock where I have it situated, it's gonna be the same length. Let me go down and look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, because also the concern is, because right now where it is, there's no bulkhead, so it can just go out straight. So we would have to go up and over the bulkhead. So for it to be, a pitch where, she could manage, I worry that we'd have to extend it, out even
Well,
further.
it can have a step down.
You can cut an arch in the bulkhead, drop the bulkhead down 1 foot there, where you're gonna put the dock in. Let me go down and look at it.
Okay.
I mean, and this, it's not your job to fix my problem, but if you have any suggestions on it, in terms of cutting molliers.
Let me look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to look and see.
Okay.
Have you spoken to any, contractors to say, hey, we got a pitch problem, and we got this problem? Has anybody?
Not yet. We just wanted to, hear comments from the board first before we
I mean-
looked into different solutions.
I mean,
The comments,
Regardless, the bulkhead, it wasn't permitted in the first place. It's gonna be a conflict of interest with the neighbor. They're gonna, as far as on the line like that, I mean, even if it is on the property, I mean, I don't even know if it's on the property line,
But
like.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, according to.
You're talking
You don't have to worry about that,
splitting hairs, and I don't think that it could be accepted as it is.
Candidly, I'm not concerned about the neighbor, because the neighbor put a dock in a position in themselves. I think really what would make sense is for the neighbor to say, we both have a problem here.
Doesn't happen.
Usually doesn't happen.
But I mean, if we just had a shared dock, it would all go away, but I mean, we can't even accept that, I don't think.
my concern is the
like this
future.
neighbor
Like you
and-
say, you make a precedent.
Do you think I would ever take one of your precedents and use it in another application? Well, thank you for at least being open-minded, and if you could go down and take
Yeah.
a look, we'd really
Will do.
appreciate it. And any suggestions that the board
Yeah.
has.
No, we're sensitive to what you want to do. We're just trying to figure out how it fits into the big
I
picture,
appreciate
buddy.
it. I appreciate it.
And we'll meet you on site too, if that's helpful.
Appreciate that.
How would that be arranged?
We can email you or
Yeah,
email
you know,
I think
Charlotte.
Ed's got the best knowledge of that area.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
everyone on the board, when
Spent a
you're
lot of
talking
time
about
with it.
something like this, you're gonna just look at it so you know exactly. I mean, we don't even have the benefit of our technology today.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks again.
All right, John.
Great.
John, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, thanks.
National Golf Links.
Next, let's see.
National Golf Links.
One here from
JMO.
JMO. Oh, wait, no, I don't think he's representing them anymore, is he? Is he representing?
I know, it was changed, I don't know if we went to what though.
We did get a letter.
I'm gonna look right now. In my
I know he
email.
was not somebody, but I don't remember who.
I think it was national.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
Everybody took national.
So if that's the case, then there's nobody here, and there was a letter from these.
And there were some questions that we had when our old board had started the review on this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were ever settled. And we have 3 new board members, so I think we should definitely hold it.
So hold, they're
And
not
have a
here.
Yeah,
representative.
JMO is not representing anymore.
What?
They're not he's not representing anymore.
The new board member, we're the older board. Yeah,
We're the old-
we're the old board that was here. The old board that was here, now we're the new board.
The new contact is Gerard Gagliard
Okay.
in the future.
That's what I thought, so,
I-
so,
I can give him a call.
yeah, so we,
Yeah,
let's
we
hold
should
this
start
thing,
the
because
conversation.
we got to change that on the,
Are you with the application?
Yeah, I went with James a couple weeks ago, and it's about doing a dock out for launches, right?
so you want to hold it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be proper.
All right. What do we got here? 19 Seatuck, Andrew Perel,
That's the one I don't believe there's a representative for.
and we're going to put that on hold, Matt?
Yes.
That's going on hold. And then the next one is Stephen Probst, 187 Evergreen Road,
Calm
Flanders.
down, Stephen.
He's been here before.
Jeff Pandanjo is not available. His wife is having surgery, so I
Okay.
said I would come.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
State your name, sign in.
Sure, the pen doesn't work. Is there another thing
Here,
that-
try this one.
Thanks.
So Mr. Probst is proposing to remove and
Pull the
replace
end off, maybe.
103 linear feet of existing bulkhead wood with new vinyl in the as existing and raised height of 6 inches above existing top cap elevation, along with one 17-foot long return on west side of property. Install 10 cubic yards of clean sand fill from upland sources behind proposed bulkhead raised grade.
That,
Remove existing fixed dock and replace with new 4-foot wide by 15-foot long fixed pier, 30-inch by 14-foot aluminum ramp, and 6-foot by 20-foot floating docks with 4 10-inch diameter greenheart piles, and install 2 12-inch diameter greenheart tie-off piles. All timber will be untreated greenheart.
I removed the boat lift from the original application, which is what was the problem, I think. And due to Mr. Horowitz's thought process, the net, you said you saw the net boat lift
yeah.
down in
Yeah,
Florida.
it
I
just-
actually have an appointment today at 3 o'clock to talk about it. It was intriguing,
Yeah.
very intriguing. In fact, it's just so
The
environmentally
fence
friendly. It
is
was
gonna
like,
be
wow,
after
I
this
think
is
I
all
gotta
done.
do
This
this,
is
but
neighboring.
you know, it,
And
Yeah,
he wants
it's a
to
separate permit,
Yeah.
but
If you see, these are just
It's
4 by
worth
4s.
looking at. I mean,
it's really,
And
So he wants
it's
to match that same
significant.
height
there's
that they've
a lot of
got,
interesting new
because he's
technology,
going
new
over,
thinking,
um,
you know,
yeah.
products that are out there. Ed and I
Wants to
spent a
replace
couple
this whole
hours
thing.
going over some things.
When I first heard what you said, I
Pilings on the
thought,
outside or the, or the
you know,
whalers
but
like
then
this
I did a
one?
little homework. It's called the C-Pen.
Let's see if it shows.
Really, really cool.
Oh, that's pretty
And
interesting.
it's not that much more expensive than a boat lift. But the thing is, it's less maintenance because there's no real metal parts or anything.
Yeah, nothing to rust and
Yeah.
to freeze up and,
Yeah,
And
very environmentally friendly.
It's just more excuse I have to spend more time in Florida.
is there a reason that you wanted to keep the poles still on the outside of the bulkhead? Just because it was just pre-existing, or is that?
Just because it was pre-existing.
I mean, do you have intent of tying up that, or?
Not really. It's my wife and I live there.
I just know with the, it'd be cost effective to do the bulkhead similar to the one next to it.
That's a
would be-
that's a town bulkhead that was done that way.
Yeah, but you know, it has the inset vinyl. I'm just like these poles now are kind of like,
Well, I mean, there's Navy-style bulkhead, which is the strongest, and then there's,
Poles.
yeah.
yeah, usually whalers in there.
Yep.
It is the Peconic River, and it gets terrible flooding. Northeasters over there, I mean, the water level could be, 3 feet higher. Town property is, that was a new project that was done.
I just don't know if we want to mimic the town bulkhead of the town property, but, I mean, the Navy style, yeah, like you said, is,
I'd say it's applicant's choice. You know,
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
want they want to money on a Navy style,
Well, one is more expensive than the other.
the Navy style.
yeah.
The Navy
The
style's
Navy
more
style is
expensive.
more expensive, whereas if you do the,
Stronger, because you got,
but they also have these panels now that are incensed a lot. It adds a lot of strength to it, you know? And, I mean, there are problems with poles.
Yeah, but the top split, the split.
The problem with the timbers that we're getting now is they're not lasting as long as we were all thinking. But the square whaler timber is.
Right.
It must be a different grade. So, I mean, it's just something you might
What
when
would
you're
be the
contracting.
difference of the time, bulkhead like?
Same
the ten-
time, same amount of time. It's same amount of like
Hey, if
backfilling.
it's cheaper,
Yeah.
I'm in.
but that's not, that's their decision. I mean, is compliant with
Yeah.
our
Okay.
regulations.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
neighbor,
I'm glad you
your
bring it up,
neighbor,
though, 'cause
your
it's
neighbor
something-
to the west also has a very similar
Right,
bulkhead like this. It looks like, with just a top whale or just, simpler.
Yeah.
And the other one was the town engineered bulkhead. The highway department, probably, one of the, probably McLean did their permitting, so, I mean, it's, you can contact McLean Consulting and ask them about the bulkhead at Evergreen Road, and then they would give you some kind of idea, how to.
You might say, because I mean, I know when I put mine in 10 years ago for $2,000 a pop, those, the
the poles.
poles.
Yeah.
The 10-inch green hearts are about $2,500.
So, I mean, so you're talking to make it a Navy style is gonna be a decent amount, a chunk out of your pocket, whereas you might not need it.
Right.
We did 1,000 feet over where I am. We didn't go Navy style. We don't have any problem.
Well, so far, the person that I've kind of chosen is Abe Dock Builders. Maybe you're familiar.
I've seen his work.
Yeah,
I would ask him.
Oh, yeah, go over a
His
price,
his
yeah.
professional opinion on the
Okay.
similar bulkheads on either
But
side
you
of you.
seem to be doing research anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, I am.
consult Dr. Google and
Yeah,
learn.
there are a lot of dock builders.
I'm gonna be 69 years old. I need 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That it's my
I
kid's
don't know if
problem.
you need a Navy
Well,
style there.
As I've
My
said to other,
professional.
applicants, you're apparently still buying green bananas, so.
Yes.
I didn't know if you wanted to.
And as far as raising the bulkhead up, that would be, because it would be similar to what the town has done.
Right.
At the property.
Yeah, I mean, we've been having some extreme flooding.
Oh, and I see the rack line on your lawn. Out at the property,
Oh, okay,
month and a half ago.
okay. All right.
What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, that's it.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does
thank
that
you.
have stamp plans?
We need stamp plans, and
Yeah, so you got to lock down here. You're gonna need stamp plans.
if you, when the stamp plans, whoever engineers it, the
Right.
plans, will have the type of bulkhead that's gonna be
Not
used,
yet, okay.
so we know
We're
what
gonna
we're
need those.
approving. Okay? Yep.
All right, so let's move, I think that concludes the general permit discussions for today. We do have exec, and I do see special counsel. I'm gonna go to the general application for the final stamp plan review, and I think trustee Parsons has one on for 4 Beaver Dam Road with McLean, so we have
What it
those?
says.
We got those stamp plans?
Is he changing it at all? That last guy?
I don't think he's
No,
changing
he's
it.
not changing anything?
Front end, right?
Okay, so we're good, sorry.
Yeah, he's
Just
not
so we
changing
answered
anything, no.
For Beaver Dam.
For Beaver Dam, it's the stamp
The-
plans.
the
Did you
town.
provide stamp plans for the, for Beaver Dam Road project? You did?
Okay, so we move that ahead?
Because we normally would look at them on the screen, but
Yeah.
when you see them, but you sit in here, you're acknowledging that you did provide them, so.
Colonial letter.
All right, yeah, we're going back. All right, so that concludes, we do have an 11 o'clock executive session, so does anybody have anything like a work session, or can it wait till 1 o'clock, because we do have to go into exec? Anyone? All right. So that, I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting and go into
Second.
executive session for the discussion of litigation. Seconded by trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.